Defensive Player of the Year. And with him, any catch could be a big one. He's the NFL leader in touchdown receptions. It's the Dolphins and the Bengals, and it's all up next on EA Sports.
On a chilly December afternoon, EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to Paycor Stadium in Cincinnati, Ohio. It is Week 16 in the NFL, and we've got a good one in store, as it'll be the Miami Dolphins taking on the Cincinnati Bengals. With Charles Davis, as always, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, you talk about storylines in this one. I think it begins and ends with our two quarterbacks, certainly two of the best in the business.
And nowadays, I don't think you can get by for long periods of time without a top-flight quarterback. The way the game is played, with all the responsibility.
Season is upon us. We've got the gift of the NFL as we're underway here in Week 16. And this will go as a touchback, and they will begin things at the 25. The Bengals offense here ready to rock and roll. Joe Burrow is the man at quarterback.
And when you come into the league as the #1 guy selected, a lot of hype comes with it. Sometimes that weight can be unbearable. But this young man, he took that weight on and handled it as well as you can imagine. And I love his ability to make a second, third reaction play and create downfield.
Let's get set. 42.
Here's Burrow to throw right away. That one taken in by T. Higgins. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down. This defense for the Dolphins, they were excellent a week ago in the win over Pittsburgh.
And every defensive team that we talk to, they spend a lot of time talking about creating turnovers. And anytime you get 2 or more in a game, you've had a really good performance. They exceeded that number in a huge way. They got the football back 4 times in the win.
Throwing again on second down, but this time it's incomplete. You look at this defense. They were excellent a week ago in the win over Pittsburgh.
And all defensive teams that I know talk about creating turnovers. Takeaways, they call them. And anytime you can get 2 or more in a game, you've had a really, really good performance. They exceeded that number in a big way.
And he is going to have the Bengals first down as they're able to convert by plenty there on 3rd and 1. Well, they kept it simple there, CD, only needing the short gain to move the chain, so they didn't want to go with a deep throw. They just go with that safer, shorter throw and able to convert.
Nothing wrong with that at all, partner. Check the box, right? Make sure you pick up the first down. Offense is getting established. You're moving the ball. You're not turning it over. Check, check, check. They like what they're doing early in the game.
But now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete. 2nd and 10, a very chilly day here, but no snow. And I got to say, if it's going to be this cold, I want snow. You should see Charles. And the Dolphins rush gets home. Down he goes. That winds up pushing him back 11 yards on the sack. And that'll bring up 3rd. Coming off the line, he's been wreaking havoc all year. And look, that's why, as a result, he's getting some looks for Defensive Player of the Year in the NFL.
And I know that many people don't have him first on their list right now, but he deserves that type of consideration. You mentioned it. All year long, he's made big plays and continues to do so. Imagine if he has a big game here. If so, he could vault himself right into the #1 spot.
They'll get 8, but they're going to have to punt here on the opening drive because that's not enough. So on 4th down, on is Brad Robbins to punt for the Bengals. Only 2 punts for him last week in the loss as he gets this one away. Returnable now for Woodson. 43-yard punt, but they get 9 back on the return. And it'll be Dolphin football. So out comes this offense to take over for the first time. They will be led out by the 6-foot lefty from Alabama. It's Tua Tagovailoa.
And he's certainly putting together an MVP-type season, leading the league in both passing yards and touchdown passes. There have not been too many defenses that have been able to stop him or even slow him down. So he's got his sights set on another big game right here.
Tagovailoa and the Dolphins come up 1st and 10 at their own 26. They'll try and start this drive in the air. Oh, he's going to take a shot right away. It's caught inside the 25. And all the way in for a Miami touchdown. A great effort there. 74 yards. And the Dolphins will jump on top with the game's first score here this afternoon. Boy, Charles, this offense is just so explosive. They lead the league in scoring, and another example of just how good they are right there on that play.
Yeah, we often overstate about how explosive teams are, but this team is truly a threat to score on every snap, especially on the first few plays of any series. And a big strike like that only adds to their reputation as the league's best offense.
Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. And no effort to bring this one out. It's a touchback. Cincinnati coming back onto the field here for their second drive. The defense got the better of them last series, forcing a punt. See if they make a few changes in the game plan here and try to get points out of this drive. 1st and 10. Burrow on play action. In trouble, and he's taken down. Buried by multiple defenders on the drive's first play. He had 3 of those sacks last week en route to being the AFC Defensive Player of the Week 1 right there. How do you block him now?
That's the question you think that they'd be able to answer. After having 3 the week before, you would make all the necessary adjustments in practice, but he's such an imposing force, he knows how to get to the quarterback anyway.
That second down play nets a -4.
This defense is a difficult one to prepare for, one of the best in the league. They'll come at you from all angles, and they did a nice job there stopping him for a loss.
Here we go.
Here is 3rd and quite a ways.
Here we go. 11, 11, 11, 11.
From the gun, they'll try to run it. And they'll bring him down here up at about the 22-yard line. They do get 10 back, but still a ways to go on 4th. They had quite a hole to dig out of there on 3rd and long. Not able to get the first, but a pretty good size run.
A really good run, but how much confidence do you have in your next play call that you can sell to the head coach? Let's go get it on 4th down. Do you really have a play you believe in, or are you just hopeful? And you got to sell it to the big man before it gets called.
It's a 42-yard punt, but 8 on the return. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. So the Dolphins offense heading out as we give you a look at the playoff race in the AFC. And for them, it's no longer a question of will they make the playoffs. They've clinched the division title. The question, can they hold on to that #1 seed?
And this is where the mental fortitude comes to play, doesn't it? Because now you're not just the coach talking about it, it's team talking about it to each other, supporting each other, carrying each other along, because having that #1 seed means everything in the NFL.
It does. So even though the division title's clinched, shouldn't take the foot off the gas.
No, not at all. Play it all the way through, and I think we've seen that in recent years in the NFL. The teams that play and play to win each and every game, they're the ones to deal with in the playoffs.
Setting to throw on 1st down is Tua. And his throw here is going to be incomplete. And Charles, you think about this offense, and it's kind of a tricky time of the season because you're 14-0, looking to see this one out to the end, but you start to run into situations where guys are getting a little banged up. Maybe could use some time sharing, some time on the bench, just to rest. How do you approach the rest of this regular season?
I'm telling you, you don't ask the easy stuff, do you? I mean, you created a heck of a situation there, and actually you didn't create it. You presented it, and you're exactly right. It is tricky because your eye has to be on the ultimate prize, which is the Super Bowl. That's paramount. But at the same time, how much fun would it be to go down as one of the all-time great teams and join the 1972 Dolphins as the only undefeated team to win a Super Bowl?
This now a 3rd and 4. And he picks up the first before he's taken down at the 29. That'll go as a pickup of 8.
Just about every coach we talk to says the crowd shouldn't affect us. That shouldn't be an issue. And in the next breath, they talk about taking the crowd and taking them out of the game by picking up 1st downs and keeping them at bay. I think we just saw an example of that there, didn't we?
Important to do, especially early in the game like they have. Counting down toward the midway point in quarter 1. And some determined running there as he'll pick his way down to the 12-yard line. 17 yards for the Dolphins there as they've got themselves a first down. Although his reputation as a speedy runner precedes him, it's always fun to watch him work.
It is eye-opening, isn't it? Because when you see him get the ball and just go, in addition to that speed, it helps out his blockers. They don't have to hold blocks for long because he's just going to speed right past them.
On first down, they'll go to the ground attack. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Dolphins touchdown. A great play there with his 17th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Dolphins have taken a 13-0 first quarter lead. Another impressive drive, so they're 2 for 2, 2 touchdowns. Charles, a great start to this ball game for them.
And one of the words that's really worked its way into our lexicon is stacking. They've stacked momentum each time out, and not only on offense. Between those touchdowns, defense held, forced a punt to get the ball back, and they've played awfully well in this one. Both sides playing at optimum level.
Sanders on for the extra point. And it's good, and they have jumped out here to a quick 14-0 first quarter lead. That time a 6-play drive, and it was capped off by a 12-yard touchdown run. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. No run back here, down to a knee, and this drive will start at the 25. The Bengals offense getting set and ready to go again here. They've shown precious little here offensively thus far as they try again with a first down now.
On one, ready? 11 Thomas. 11 Mighty. 11 MT. 10.
Now Burrow.
11 MT. 10.
It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he's going to get a good gain of 9 here up to the 34. We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on first quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you'll break a tackle and turn into a bigger gain. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield.
Now Burrow loses the football. Oh, and one of the linemen on the other side has got it. And his guys will take over at the 25-yard line. He was under duress, surveying, trying to find somebody to get the ball out of his hands. In the meantime, the defense, they took it out of his hands.
And when the ball snapped, I know exactly what the defense is thinking. Get a sack, put him on the ground. But when you can also knock the ball free while doing so, oh, there's the bonus for you as a defender.
Getting set to go again as we look at the back, heading onto the field again. And you see his numbers from a week ago. He was up over 100 yards then, and he's already hit pay dirt here once in this one.
We always talk about quarterbacks and receivers getting into rhythm, right? Really feeling good, finding each other downfield. I think running backs operate the same way. They can hit a good rhythm and a good stride, and he's carrying it over from last week.
It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. He was solid last week, over 100 yards in their victory on the ground. They want to get that going again.
Absolutely. What they also understand is that from week to week, it's not necessarily the same, but they want it to be, right? What they saw last week on the ground, they want to see in this game as well.
Here's 2nd and 3. On the ground, this is Julius Chestnut. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain that time as it's going to leave him with a 3rd and about 3 to go. Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first. On 3rd down, they're going to run for it here. And he is going to have the Dolphins first down. They needed 3. He doubled that. He got 6. This offense, number 1 in the NFL in picking up first downs, and their run game got him another one there.
A really good stat to lead the league in, isn't it? Because if you keep picking up first downs, sustaining drives, that means you're controlling the football, controlling the clock, and letting your defense rest on the sidelines.
A run here with Chestnut. And a pickup of about 4 down inside the 10 to the 8-yard line.
Not a run that you're going to write home about, but still a good first down run. That's what an offense calls staying on schedule. 3 to 4 yards on first down, you're set up very well for the rest of the drive.
Facing a 2nd and 6 from the 8. One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. They'll get this halfway home from the 8 to the 4 on a gain of 4. He's hit pay dirt a lot this year, but not that time.
Yeah, I'm tracking right there with you. You're exactly right. He's found the end zone plenty of times. No way I can find any fault with the call. He may not have scored there.
And he is in. Touchdown, Miami. Devon Achane. His 26th touchdown, drawing even with Marshall Faulk for the 4th most in a single season. And the Dolphins take a 3-touchdown lead. Extra point up and good by Sanders, and it's now 21-0.
Bengals nothing. Jason Sanders to kick off for Miami.
So how about this for a start? 21-0 here in the first as they kick this one away. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. Cincinnati set to take over once again. Well, CD, you kind of feel like they're in a bit of a danger zone right here because now you're down 3 scores. And I know we're in the first half, but the way this offense hasn't been able to generate anything, you feel like they probably need to get something going on this drive, right?
Yeah, and sometimes I overuse that this is an important possession, but I think this has to be the possession where they come up with an answer because only a few teams in league history have ever come back from a 4-score deficit. If they don't score here, that's what they could be facing the next time they get the ball.
That'll give them 8 that time, and they'll be left with 2nd and a couple.
11 empty, 11 empty. 11, 11, 11, 12, 11, 11.
Running straight ahead, Taylor. Not much there, maybe a couple up to the 35. You talk about this Miami defense. They were excellent a week ago in the win over Pittsburgh.
Anytime you can hold a team to less than 10 points, your expectation of winning that game is sky high. In fact, you'd absolutely be stunned to come away with a loss.
11 mighty, 11
Play
mighty.
action, it's Burrow. That is caught, and he is going to have a Bengals first down as he's able to get about 3 that time on 3rd and inches.
Would it be safe to say that as precise as routes are supposed to be run in the NFL, maybe they're not quite as precise in college ball?
That's accurate, yeah.
And I think we saw a college route in the NFL there. Just find the soft spot, find the dead zone, and find the first down. And that's what he just did.
The Dolphins get there this time, and they bring him down. They'll wind up losing 8 on the sack there, and it's 2nd down.
At the 29-yard line.
21-0 our score after 1.
Bengals nothing.
Ready for the second quarter from Cincinnati. It's the Bengals with the football here as they've got it facing a 2nd and long situation.
Here we go.
Now a give to Taylor, and he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. This will be a loss of 3, and now a much tougher 3rd down looming.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through, but that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
And Burrow going to be hit and taken down. They got him. The defense rising to the challenge and setting him back on the sand. Well, Charles, this has been something to watch so far. This is where you really feel for a quarterback. He's been running for his life in this first half.
Brandon, that's 5 sacks already, so you know he's got to be saying, can we get some more guys in here to block, please? Because if we don't, we're going to need another quarterback.
On now to punt, Brad Robbins. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And taken at the 46. It's a 40-yard punt, 6 yards on the return, and the Dolphins will begin this drive in great field position, 1st and 10. And as this offense makes their way back out, it's AFC playoff race time as we give you a look. Right now, everything they touch turns to gold. This is their 4th possession. Touchdowns on their first 3 possessions. I mean, this defense, they can't seem to stop them. It's like they're on skates.
Great analogy, Brandon, because they are pushing them back and winning everything at the line of scrimmage. They've just been laying down tracks towards the opposite end zone. So all they're saying is, if there's no way they can stop us.
Now it's 2nd and 10.
Hey, Lolo, Solo left Zion.
Tagovailoa working out of the gun. And incomplete on the deep ball.
Oftentimes when you're losing a game and the team's still throwing with this kind of a lead, you start playing a little more physically. And they took that opportunity right there to be extremely physical and force that incompletion.
Throwing is Tagovailoa on 3rd down here. He'll let this go for the end zone. He's got it. Touchdown, Dolphins. Jalen Waddle, 48 yards. And the Dolphins are able to add on to their first half lead. Well, you talk about a team coming into an opposing stadium and just taking the life right out of a crowd. That's what we're witnessing here. 27-0, Charles.
And this defense, they've just looked completely unprepared for what's been thrown at them. And you know they're supposed to adjust series to series. That has not happened for them. So I don't think halftime adjustments are going to help a heck of a lot. They are in major trouble unless they figure out something really fast.
And this will be a touchback, so they'll bring it out to the 25. Now the Cincinnati offense ready to see what they can do here. These guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here.
Yeah, and every team that we ever talk to says the exact same thing. When you start a drive from that deep in your own territory, the goal is a minimum of at least 2 first downs, because even if you have to punt then, you change the field position, right? You flip the field a little bit. They didn't get that done. This time they want to string together a nice drive and help themselves out. Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync.
Now looking for Higgins, but it is intercepted. And the Dolphins will take over here as they get it up to the 43-yard line.
And that's what we've seen from this defense all year long, because they've been so good at finding ways to take the football away. And they just gave us another example right here. A strong defense, that's something you're going to need to rely on come playoff time. And this crew has got one. There's no doubt about that, Brandon.
After the turnover, it's Tua. That would complete downfield to Thomas. And they're able to work this to the 25 before it's all said and done. A gain of 32 that time.
Despite writing it down on my notes, I never give enough credit to the offensive line, and we have to here. The protection, that's what made this play a success. Quarterback had to wait for his crossing route to develop, and that takes a little bit of extra time. Excellent job by the big fellas up front.
Oh, it's complete. And he... lose yardage back to the 29. Not what they had in mind there. That's going to go as a loss of 4. Got to give some credit there defensively. They snuffed out that screen early on first down.
Really read it well, didn't they? Because they didn't bring the pressure that they expected. They covered all the passing lanes. So once you see it break down as the passer, I think in this situation, you're throwing it at the feet of your back to make sure no one picks. Throw it away. Throw it over the sideline. Don't try and freelance and try and make a bigger play. There's really no one else running a pattern that should be open. Well, the secondary's really struggled today, but that's a little bit of a measure of revenge, isn't it? And they just followed the basic rules. See ball, knock ball away. Turned into a nice play.
The offense on third down, a perfect 4 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 14. And again, it's Tagovailoa. This one, and that's going to be intercepted. Daxton Hill picks it off. And they will finally get him as he's all the way down near the 40-yard line. So and Charles, I'd imagine that's something you can maybe live with in December, but not come January.
And I love how you make the distinction there. You're talking about regular season versus the postseason, the playoffs. Because these guys, they've already clinched a playoff spot, but they know, looking ahead, when they get into the postseason, they've got to take better care of the football because turnovers at that situation, they really become magnified.
A pass there over the middle to start things out.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
Brings up 3rd down.
The Dolphins bring on an extra defensive back on 3rd down. They're passing here. Joe Burrow. He's got his target. That's complete. And he is going to have a bang. Step. They're able to keep the drive alive on 3rd and inches.
But with the score where it is, you're not thinking field goals right now. You need touchdowns. So that was a much-needed conversion there on 3rd down.
11 MT, 11, 12.
1st and 10, Taylor now. This will be a short gain of 3 before he's brought down at the 22.
Give credit to the defense for stringing that play out, and they gave up no cutback angle. You know he was trying to dart through. No place for him to go. A nice job there, only giving up a 3-yard gain.
12. Stop.
Here's Burrow. Got a man, and he hits him in stride. It'll be a gain of 5, and it makes it 3rd down and 2 yards to go. That's now 4 completions in a row. A good bounce back following the interception last drive.
Certainly not letting it affect him, that's for sure. And we all know interceptions are going to happen. So the big trick, don't let it affect you going forward. Most of the good quarterbacks, they just tell the ball boy, get that one out of the rotation, give me a fresh ball, and let's go. He's got his offense moving again.
Burrow on his toes that time as they get the 1st down.
Certainly not a positive sign if you're the D coordinator and you see your guys give up that space so early in the game. 3rd down, that's when the clamps are supposed to come out, but his ability to create things with his legs makes things difficult.
He'll be hit and taken down at the 21. A very costly sack there on 3rd and goal pushes him back big time. And now you figure the field goal team coming on 4th.
1-1, ready?
They come up on 2nd and long, and the pass protection just has not been there this afternoon. Burrow will throw. And pressure coming, and they got him once again. Multiple rushers break through to drop him for the 7th time this game.
You've called plenty of games in your career. Do you believe in momentum, my man?
I do, and I think we're seeing it right here.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. The run that he's been on. How about that? 3 sacks in a game a week ago, and another one right here.
And he's going to go down again. A disastrous loss there on 1st and goal on the sack sets him back big time. These sacks now, they're starting to pile up, Charles, and that front 7 defensively, they've had their way with this offensive line.
And I think at this stage, we have to start thinking about different play calls. We've got to start helping this quarterback out because the entire game he's been under siege. I don't care what the down and distance. They've got to get the ball out of his hands a lot quicker.
So 1st and goal quickly turns into 4th and goal, and then 4th and goal turns into no points whatsoever.
That's a very disappointing sequence of events right there. And I, for one, would not want to be the kicker who has to run over to his head coach and explain that one.
The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. And we'll see if they can bounce back from that last drive, in particular if they can bounce back at the quarterback position, Charles, after throwing their first interception of the ball game. He's got a man complete, and that is caught. Touchdown, Miami. A big play there. 2 catches, 2 touchdowns here so far. And the Dolphins are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. So they called it a touchdown originally, and this will stay a touchdown after the video review, so they had it right. Extra point up and good by Sanders, and the route is on here in this first half.
Bengals nothing. Jason Sanders to kick off for Miami.
Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. The Bengals offense returns to the field. And the way their last drive ended, boy, it was frustrating. They had a pretty good drive going. It was sustained, and then it stalled out, Charles, and they missed the field goal and got nothing out of it.
Is that insult to injury? Because they had such a sustained drive, as you noted. So you know for the head coach, it almost felt like a little bit of failure to send out the field goal unit and then tonight and see the ball go through the post. What a bummer on that last drive for them. Got to pick themselves up from that one.
They come up on 2nd and long, and the pass protection just has not been there this afternoon. Here's Burrow setting up to throw it. Open man is Chase, complete. We remind you that coming up at halftime, Jonathan Coachman will be alongside. He'll have highlights and analysis from Orlando of this first half of action. Burrow on 3rd down. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he is going to have a Bengals first down as they convert on 3rd and 3 with a nice gain of 7 yards. Now a timeout called for by the defense. And they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the first down.
Here we go.
Now it's Burrow. Quick hitter here, it's complete. Now they got to get to the line quickly.
A 6-yard pickup brings up 2nd and 4.
And they go play action now. Burrow. Oh, everything falling apart now. Another one intercepted. It's DJ Turner who's got it.
Burrow's pass. Intercepted.
When a team's turned it over 3 times in the first half, we just look at the offense and say, guys, what are you doing? But instead, we really should be looking at the defense. They've created the takeaways. 2 interceptions, 1 caused fumble. They played awfully well swarming to the ball here in the first half.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. And they'll run on the inside handoff. Excellent job pushing through tacklers that time to pick up 6.
Offensive linemen love creating space for their guys carrying the ball, but when that guy also breaks tackles and creates extra yardage, they almost feel like he's one of them, and they really embrace him.
Tua wants to throw it on 2nd down. Turnover fest continues. Here, interception. Daxton Hill picks it off, and the back. As he gets this up past the 20-yard line. So that potentially an important takeaway here in this 2nd quarter.
Because what it does is give their offense a chance to put a drive together. They've got nothing on the scoreboard so far, so you have to think that they need something before the break. And now they have an opportunity.
Trying to shake off the interception, he'll look to throw. And he will find his man on the outside. And he takes his beyond. Before going out of bounds. This drive starting off on the right foot, 18 yards from all the way up at the 38 now after a good start to the drive. Now it's Burrow. That's going to be caught by Rivers. Now the Bengals going to use the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 33 seconds to go in the first half. Now Burrow to throw on 2nd down. They'll set up the screen to Taylor. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. The Bengals going to use the 2nd of their timeouts. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime.
11 Thomas, 11 Mighty, 11 MT.
Again, it's Burrow.
11 MT Tank.
Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone. Well, the incompletion, yes, but maybe here not the worst thing in the world?
No, not on 1st and 10. It actually gives them a chance to regroup, relax just a little bit. They huddle up, talk it over. Then they get a chance to continue their drive.
2nd and 10 now, Burrow. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. 5 yards, now it's 3rd and 5. Now the Bengals going to signal for their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop it with 13 seconds to play in half number 1.
A 61-yard attempt.
McPherson's kick is good. And 3, but this remains a large deficit. The NFL record is 66 yards. That was 5 shy of that, but only a handful of guys have ever connected from 61 or deeper, and he can add his name to the list.
Yeah, more and more guys are trying it. That doesn't mean the success rate has gone up. That is a long kick. Guaranteed, when he turns on his phone after the game, a ton of congratulatory texts will be awaiting him.
First down Miami as they get set to start the drive. And with 10 seconds left, not really enough time to put something together. Tua now on 1st down. He's going to loft one deep left side here. This is 15. And with just 1 second remaining in the first half, they'll call the timeout. A real field flipper there as all of a sudden they've got a first down in the red zone. Tua, a final shot before half. He's got it. Touchdown, Dolphins. A great effort there. On his way to a monster game, 3 first-half touchdowns. And the Dolphins will extend their lead on the final play of the half. You knew time was going to run out, so this had to be in the end zone, and somehow they were able to find a window and get it done.
Very easy for us to talk about up here that, yes, all that had to happen, but when time's running down, sometimes your brain compresses a little bit too. They showed great poise, understanding of situation, making sure they got to the end zone in order to complete that pass and take a nice momentum into the locker room.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. Welcome in everyone to this Christmas Eve edition of the EA Sports Halftime Report. So let's get to it. We'll start up at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey. And it's the Ravens who have the lead as they play the second quarter. J.K. Dobbins with a touchdown run. Next, we head off to check out another game. And you can see, currently they trail in that ball game. 3 touchdown passes there for Jalen Hurts. Finally, we head to the shores of Lake Erie. See what's going on with the Cleveland Browns. And things didn't work out so well as they fall to the visiting New England Patriots. 14-13, the final score in a tight one. Final adjustments being made for the second half. Whether they'll amount to much in a game that's already pretty well decided, well, that's another question. Nevertheless, let's get you back out to Brandon and Charles.
McPherson to kick off for Cincinnati.
And no fireworks to start the half. This will be a touchback. Out comes the Dolphins now. They'll go on offense first here in this third quarter. And the Dolphins now with a 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line.
20 TX.
Here's Tagovailoa to throw. They'll let this go deep for Waddle. That's caught inside the 20. It's a big play there for Miami. 63 yards.
Boy, this has just been an offensive clinic. It's seemingly been one big play after another, and add this one onto the list. When you can bite off more than half the field on one play, things are definitely working in your favor.
A real field flipper there as all of a sudden they've got a first down in the red zone. A run straight ahead with Achane. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard.
Some good strong running right there. Some power and some explosiveness just about got him into the end zone.
From the 3, 2nd and a yard. One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. And the D not yielding much there. He's only going to get a yard to about the 2.
Brandon, one thing about blitzes, they really confuse offensive linemen at times. And what you have to do is lock in on the guy right in front of you. If you don't, you saw the end result. Defensive tackle ended up making the play.
They'll run with Chestnut. And he will take it in for a Dolphins touchdown. Julius Chestnut with a lucky number 13 touchdowns now on the year. And the Dolphins take the opening kickoff of the third quarter and drive right down the field to extend their lead. Well, that was a quick drive. The passing game set it up, and then the running game finishes it off.
And how about how few plays it was to get it done, but they threw it downfield and then pounded it into the end zone. And as a former defender, I can tell you, it hurts just a little bit more when they run it into the end zone instead of throwing it.
This is your game, baby. Come on with it, man.
Jason Sanders to kick off for Miami.
Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. So here are the Bengals now as they get their first possession of this second half.
On one, ready?
Burrow and the Bengals with a 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
11, 11, 11, 12. 11.
They'll try and start this drive in the air. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's second down.
Well, they certainly aren't letting up today, partner, because they've forced big turnovers already, and it's been incredibly tough for them to get yards against, let alone put points up on the board.
Burrow looking to pass. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4.
They gave up the completion there, but this is what zone defenses count on, catching the ball and not much run after the catch.
On third down, Burrow working the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he is going to have a Bengals first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
Well, maybe this offense has learned something from watching their counterparts work. I'm wondering if their coaching staff said, let's do what they've been doing the entire game, because that's worked well. This offense, they have not looked particularly good all game long, but a nice throw there for a good gain and a first down.
11 MT. Stop.
Throwing again, it's Burrow. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. They'll wind up getting just a yard, and that'll bring up second down.
It's vitally important to wrap him up immediately, because if you let that big guy get a head of steam up, boy, then you've got real trouble trying to get him down.
But they're able to hold him to a short gain on first down. On second down, Burrow. And he's got his favorite target yet again. It's complete. And he'll be out of bounds up near the 45 at the 44. So just 3 yards on the completion there. And now third down and 6 to go.
12. 11 Thomas. 11 Mighty.
Now
11
Burrow.
Mighty.
Steps away to his left. The escapability in evidence there is that one good for 15 and a first.
He certainly isn't looking at the scoreboard out there, because to me, all he's concerned about is analyzing the field and making most of the time left in this game. Deficit's still there, but he's starting to hit them with some big plays.
Off the play fake, here's Burrow. And that one to the right side and incomplete.
And there's another stop. One of the league's best defenses is certainly bringing it again this week.
Here's second and 10. Out of the gun, it's Burrow. And the Dolphins rush gets home. Down he goes. They push him back 8 yards that time on second down.
Well, this has to count as a great team effort today, but this man, he's been at the center of all of it. Really special day for any defense to have this many sacks in a game, even more so for this player. One of the best individual efforts of the season.
Now throwing on third down there, but he cannot connect. The passing windows are just not there, and that's just another example of how great this defense has been all game long.
And that's exactly what a top 10 defense can do. They can really change the game tempo and frustrate you as you try to execute offensively.
Devon Achane of the offense ready to go once again. And he's closing in on that number that all running backs circled beginning of the year, the number 1,000. Could do it on this drive.
And you have to think to yourself that this moment, getting to this spot, it started in the offseason, right? Not just the workouts, right? Not just getting yourself physically prepared to play, but mentally, as well as your team, as well as your unit, head coach, offensive coordinator. We run the football. We give you opportunities. He's taking advantage of it.
And when you get this close to the mark, you just hope things don't tighten up, right? You probably want to get there. And this is caught inside the 5. Touchdown, Dolphins. Jalen Waddle, his second touchdown of the afternoon. And the Dolphins extend their lead yet again.
In order to lead in a game, you're going to get plenty of contributors, but that's his second touchdown catch of this game. He's one of the key guys in this one.
And you better believe he'll be looking for the hat trick here as this one continues to go. Extra point up and good by Sanders, and the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. And he'll just sit on this one as their drive will start at the 25. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. Well, we're still in the third quarter, so there's some time to kind of clean this up and make it look more respectable. Now, a win, that's probably gone out the window, Charles, but I don't know. Do you look at this as a time to just improve and maybe start to look towards the future?
I think you have to find something to play for, something to grasp onto until the clock runs out. But, Brandon, we've been around this game a long time. This is an outlier. You don't get many blowouts like this no matter how the game looks on paper going in. This one has turned out to be everyone's worst nightmare realized.
Here's a 2nd and 2 now from the 33.
11.
They go play action with Burrow. Now this will be swung out wide for Taylor. So that'll be no better than an incompletion. And that's going to bring up 3rd and 2.
Well, offensively, that's the mismatch that you want. You want to force a linebacker to try and cover your back out of the backfield, out in some open space. But linebackers nowadays, they run like backs, and they take a lot of pride in covering. What a nice play he made there in the open field.
That'll bring up 4th. They had the 8-yard gain on 1st down, but unable to do much from there. The Bengals bring out their punter now as he's on for the 5th time here today. They'll net only 35 here following a 43-yard boot, 8-yard return. And out will come the offense as they take over. Jalen Waddle running out, and that means that the Dolphins ready for another drive on offense. And now he's inching closer to a 200-yard game. He's been so solid.
And he's really denting the pride of the guys playing defense, too, because there's certain barriers that you just don't want to give up. You never want to give up a 100-yard rusher, a 100-yard receiver. He's closing in on 200 yards. Wow, that's a real...
DeMarvion Overshown, the one to bring him down.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
On 2nd down, they'll run it here. And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. 41 yards rushing for him now on just 6 carries to this point.
That's a nice run right there, able to get to the outside, and so many times defenses say, okay, we've got you hemmed in. But if you're running the football, at least you know where everyone is coming from. You don't have to worry about the backside at all. That allows you to run with a little bit more confidence as you traverse down the field.
Now Tua signaling to change things up. On the carry, it's Chestnut. And give him about 5 as he gets this up to the 48-yard line.
That's a really nice, tough run inside, and they gained 5 yards on it. And to be frank about it, most offenses don't expect to get 5 yards on a play call like that. So when they do, They go back to their huddle with a little pep in their steps. They're starting to think that they're starting to dominate the line of scrimmage.
From the 48-yard line, here's 2nd and 5. Now a handoff running through the middle. And he'll take it down shy of the 45 at the 46. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
I know flashy plays, splashy plays, as people like to call them, that attracts a lot of attention. But let's face it, when you're efficient, that can control a ball game. And I love the game plan they've got going right now.
Back-to-back 5-yard gains. Didn't force the ball downfield, picked it up on the ground.
Yeah, offensive line, they're getting it done.
Now Achane on 1st and 10. And he'll work this forward for about 3 at 2nd down.
This drive is pretty clear. Almost feels like old school fundamentals, doesn't it? Want to impose their will on the defense. Was that 5 straight runs?
Yeah, 5 straight carries to start this drive. And like you said, the way it's working, they may just stick with it. 2nd and 7. Now they try the right side here. And he'll go down here at the 35-yard line. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
In my book, that's running the ball well, but with intelligence. How about him keeping the clock moving, staying in bounds?
Yeah, even though it's the third quarter, you're thinking ahead, aren't you? This is where your running game can really help you with a lead in the second half.
I agree totally. It's not just end-of-the-half situations that you worry about the clock. It's throughout the game. And with a lead, stay in bounds. Make them fight harder to try and catch you.
On first down, they'll go to the ground attack. And some room to work. And he's going to get this down near the 20-yard line. That one good for 13 at a Dolphin first down.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. Up the middle, Achane. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first. It's maybe 3.
Now, not an explosive run, but they've held the ball for plenty of plays on this drive. They're just trying to impose their will on the defense right now.
And they'll come up 2nd and 7. Now a toss right side. Achane with it. Yard pickup there, and it's going to make it 3rd down at 6. We're off to the 4th quarter here on Christmas Eve. Back now in Cincinnati. A blowout so far as we get set for the fourth quarter. A very one-sided affair. This offense so far on third down, they have been superb. 5 for 6 to this point. This will be 3rd and 6. Again, it's Achane. That he will have the first down before he's tackled at the 12. 52 yards rushing for him here as he starts to draw closer to a 1,000-yard campaign.
As I take a look at the clock, I realize that this drive has eaten up a good portion of the fourth quarter already. Got to tell you, partner, when you're trying to salt away a game, this is exactly what it's supposed to look like.
Yeah, he'll work free from one tackle, but that's about all as he's taken down. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
You know what really fires up offensive linemen? When the guy that is carrying the ball behind them can create his own space and break a tackle along the way.
From the 7, it's 2nd and 5. They'll try and run this one right up the gun. And he's dropped just before the line to gain. 4-yard pickup leaves him with 3rd and 1.
It's a gain of 4, and it's 3rd down.
So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down. They'll run for it with Achane. And he takes it into the end zone for the Dolphin touchdown. Devon Achane with his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Dolphins continue to pour it on here in the 4th. Extra point up and good by Sanders. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. Cincinnati's offense coming back here onto the field. Well, I think that the folks here had hoped that maybe this home atmosphere would carry their guys to a surprise victory, but it does not appear that that's going to be the case. Just too much to handle on the other side in this one. Burrow going to lead up the Bengals here, 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. The Dolphins get there this time, and they bring him down. Buried by multiple defenders on the drive's first play.
But one thing I do know, these guys on defense, they don't want this game to end. They're winning by multiple touchdowns. They've shut down the opposing quarterback in a big way, and they're still picking up sacks as we approach the end of this one.
On 2nd down, here's Burrow. And a quick throw here, that's complete. Call it a gain of 6 on the play, and that's going to lead to a 3rd and 11. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
And Burrow going to be hit and taken down. They got him. Brought down by multiple defenders, and it's a loss of 12.
Guys with his talent in the pocket aren't supposed to be getting hit like this, and you know an intense conversation with the offensive line is going to occur after this one. Might not be from him, but the offensive line coach will have plenty to say about this game.
The Bengals bring out their punter now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Taken right around the 44. That'll go as a punt of 42, 7 on the return. And this offense, they're going to have it. Position. They take over with a 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. We find ourselves here in the midst of a one-sided affair. A lot of fill time down the stretch, Mr. Davis.
So we could talk about food because that is something that you and I both enjoy.
We share that.
We enjoy our time at the table. So maybe the best steakhouses in the city, but in all seriousness, the performances that we've seen this year, we've seen a bunch of great ones, and it's going to be hard to parse who's going to win the MVP.
Yeah, it really is.
Is it going to be a runner? Is it going to be a thrower? Can a defender find season? Those are the things that we could probably discuss.
And collectively, this dominant of a performance as you could have hoped for on both sides of the football.
Might have to put it #1 for what we've seen this season. I have zero rooting interest in either team in this game. I only want a good game. But with all the offense we've seen from them tonight, it's kind of nice to see the defense step up and make a big play.
Yeah, I was wondering if they were ever going to get him in the... But that's intercepted. Picked off by DeMarvion Overshowed. And a terrific return. Swing all the way down near the... I know it's just his 2nd year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, 2nd year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
Gun. Got.
Now Burrow on 1st down. And his throw here's incomplete. T. Higgins is the intended target. That'll bring up 2nd down.
Brings up 2nd and 10 at that 1-yard line.
12. 11.
They give to Taylor out of the gun. And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4.
It's been a struggle this entire game trying to move the ball on the ground. But every now and then you find a little chink in the armor, and that type of run right there lets them know that they can't stop every single run for almost no gain.
Burrow will throw. Had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going.
They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this 2nd half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they forced in this runaway contest.
McPherson is good, and they'll get back 3, but this remains a large deficit. Well, in the grand scheme of things, those 3 points likely not going to matter much, but I guess they get a little closer, a little more respectability.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been outplayed all game long, but like my mom used to tell me all the time before I went out, dress up a little bit, son. Make yourself respectable. And that's what they're doing here. They're just dressing up the final score.
60 Bobcat. 3.
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. Pressure gets him that time. Finally. first time this game, multiple defenders in there to drop him.
Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on second down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. Back to throw. Kendrick. He'll air it out deep for Thomas. It's caught inside the 25. It's a big play there for Miami. And even 60 yards. Still throwing the football here, even with the big lead.
Yeah, I know you and I came up in a different era. We think about sportsmanship and all that. Other people think about fantasy points and getting their numbers. That's all they care about right now.
So barely time to catch our breath. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the red zone. Looking to throw. Kendrick. They set up the screen. Achane has it. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down.
And when you're throwing the ball downfield really well like they have been on this drive, it's really a nice time to work one of the screen plays in. One of my favorite play callers in the game has always told me he starts every game with 10 to 12 screens because if he starts feeling...
And he'll take this into the end zone for a Dolphins touchdown. Devon Achane taking it in from 11 yards out. And the Dolphins just continue to roll. Sanders now to add the extra point. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. A drive there of just 4 plays. And it was Devon Achane who finished things off with a touchdown reception. And this will not be brought out. It's a touchback. Now the Cincinnati offense ready to see what they can do here. Facing a big fourth quarter deficit here, things not looking good. You know, this offense, though, they've been in the top half of the NFL so far this season. But in this one, well, their defense has really struggled.
Here we go. 11 Thomas. 11 Mighty. 11
On
MP.
1st and 10, Joe Burrow throwing quickly there, but it's incomplete.
It's now 2nd and 10 at the 25-yard line.
Here we go.
So the incompletion, and now it's 2nd and 10, again from the 25-yard line.
11 MT. Dot.
Now it's Burrow. And he's going to be brought down here in the backfield. Jalen Phillips in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year. So that'll leave Burrow and the Bengals with a 3rd and long after that sack we just saw.
12. 11.
Back to throw. And now Burrow going to be intercepted yet again. It's DJ Turner who's got it. And he'll be marked down at the 2-yard line. Another great play defensively. They've been sharp on both sides of the ball, Charles, but that interception means that this defense very well keep them down to single digits on the scoreboard in this game.
And that's certainly something to smile about, isn't it, partner, if you're on defense? Because your goal every game is to pitch a shutout, but you and I both know that's pretty unrealistic. But to hold a team below double figures in a game, in an NFL game, that's certainly something to take pride in.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he is going to lose yardage here. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And he's maybe going to get this back to the 4, but that's about all. It'll go as no gain on the play, and now they're looking at a 3rd and goal. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Dolphins have it as we welcome you back in. They've got it 3rd and goal here as they try to finish off their victory. Achane will score. Touchdown, Miami. So we have a tie now atop the all-time single-season rushing touchdown list. LaDainian Tomlinson, you've just been joined by this man.
And they share similar traits in running the football. Excellent vision, cutting ability, determination, will. They understand where the end zone is and will not be deterred.
Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. And this will not be returned. It'll come out to the 25. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. Well, it's been a struggle so far for this offense, Charles. It's not only that they haven't been able to put the points up, but really stringing yards together has been a real issue for them in this one.
I'm so glad you brought up the yardage, because I was thinking to myself, we've seen a lot of NFL games and we've seen our share of lopsided contests, but in almost all of them, both offenses have put up at least 200 yards in a game, but not in this one. This has been a display of offense that, frankly, I think the two of us have watched from behind our hands, trying to spread our fingers wide enough to actually see the result.
First and 10 at the 48-yard line.
Throwing now, Burrow on first down. Over the middle, and it's incomplete.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
Here's Burrow setting up to throw it. And the Dolphins rush gets home. Down he goes. Jalen Phillips picks up his second sack of the afternoon.
We all know he's one of the better quarterbacks in the league, but definitely not today. His team trailed by multiple touchdowns and a late sack, just a parting gift from the defense for him to take back to the locker room with him.
And his pass is intercepted for the fourth time today. It's DJ Turner who's got it. And the Dolphins are going to take possession as they've got it at the 42-yard line. Yet another mistake after the interception there. And, gosh, you look up at the scoreboard, they just got to be thinking this one cannot get over fast enough.
It certainly can't. And also what happens when you get this big of a deficit, you're supposed to make all the right throws, right? You're supposed to try and obviously get the ball to your own guys. But being down this big, you also take even more chances. And in this situation, that hasn't paid off for them at all.
On the other sideline, jubilation, and they've got his man complete. And this will be caught. And the carnage continues. It's another touchdown.
Well, business as usual for them. Well on their way to another victory. Riding a serious wave of momentum from what we've seen. And so far, they haven't met their match. So if you're going to play this team in the future, your mission is clear. You better be ready to play and match their firepower.
Sanders on for the extra point. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. Those are the kind of drives they like on offense, from the coordinator to the quarterback, the line, everybody. One play drive and into the end zone for 6. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. And this will not be returned. It's a touchback, and they'll begin at the 25. Now the Cincinnati offense ready to see what they can do here. Where we stand right now in the fourth quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on second down. From the shotgun, Joe Burrow. He's got his target. That's complete. And he is going to have a Bengals first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. Offense for them has been at a premium. You wonder where plays like that have been all game long.
They're thinking the exact same thing themselves, but they're also looking forward now, because now these plays are really for next week, trying to get some momentum going.
And that's good for a gain of 6, and that's going to bring up second down.
A 6-yard pickup brings up 2nd and 4.
Well, this was a blowout supported by both sides of the ball today, Charles. It would be easy to look at the offense and say, man, they were clicking, and they were, but don't forget about the effort by this defense as well.
Yeah, they weren't going to let up just because the lead was safe. They wanted to play as big a part in this game as their offense did in making this blowout. They needed to be noticed as well, and they played accordingly.
So for Miami, they are now 2 wins away from a perfect regular season as they run their mark to 15-0 on the year. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for Cincinnati, they fall under 500 now as they drop to 7-8. And they'll be on the road next week for a matchup with the Baltimore Ravens. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Alongside Charles Davis, we thank our entire crew. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This is the NFL on EA Sports.